So basically, I met Brian. He was a client of mine. I trained him, and we had a session, and just started talking. This session, my sessions are about an hour, and it turns out that he come around at 12. And I think you left at 4, but then I ended up coming to your house, and it was started educating me on what Morpheus is and what life coaching is. And at the time when I met Brian, I weren't in a very good way. And I've always thought positive. I've always decided that I can handle anything. But really, when you go home and when you're all by yourself, that's when you're the most real, and that's when the mask comes off. And I didn't like the look in the mirror. You know, I was doing all right, I was doing great, but I got home and sometimes fell to bits. I had nothing. You know, my missus had just left me with my stepson. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. I felt like I had nothing. It wasn't until I started, you know, then hanging around with Brian as a friend, that he realised that I have a lot more than what I've lost, and there's a reason for me being here. And he gave me a purpose. Started to help me with my business, and yeah, he's a wizard. He's definitely a special person. I was carrying on with bionic bodies. I was carrying on further in my business, but he gave me so many different ideas, and then when I found out that he was a god in the martial arts world, my eyes lit up, and he's given me so many more opportunities to see where I can take my business. You know, I was just a personal trainer before I met Brian, and now I want to become a martial arts instructor, so I'm going through my belts and doing stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I aim my business towards disabled people, but it's more towards people that feel like they haven't got anything. It's more towards people that feel like they have lost a lot more than they're worth, just like I was. And Brian opened my eyes. I didn't know what a life coach was. I thought that was something that rich people had. I thought that it was, nobody would think like I do. And Brian's just given me food for thought. And this stuff works, because if it wasn't for Brian and it wasn't for the life coaching sessions that I'd done with him, honestly and truly, and this is the scary thing, I think I'd have ended up committing suicide. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to end up to say in a room, to say out loud, even to yourself. So if it wasn't for that, you know, that I was at such a low point, but I seemed okay. I mean, Danny knew me beforehand. I seemed okay, but I went home and I wasn't. And that, now looking back on the decisions I potentially could have made, you know, suicide is not an option. It's not a way out. It's not further. It's an end, and it's a means. You know, and if you end up on drugs and you end up with, you know, alcohol, which does numb the pain, that's a means to no end. You know, you're not going to get anywhere. So the best revenge against any of the naysayers, and the best way you can feel good about yourself, is to succeed. And that is my new drug. That is what I want. And I wouldn't have been able to see the light in time if I hadn't have met Brian. But that's what he says about the universe. I needed to meet someone like him. I needed to meet somebody that would keep me on the right path. And he's the law of attraction. And everything that he says about the universe, if you put it out there, you'll get it. And I was at such a low point, but even though I was thinking about ending everything, I was wishing wishing for a way out, another way out, because I was scared of it. I didn't have the bollocks to commit suicide. I was scared of it. So I wished for another way out. I wished for another path, and I got it. I got a new circle of friends. I got new social activities. I mean, right now I'm flat out, so I don't really get a lot of social time. But all my friends understand that. All my good friends understand that. They ring me on a daily basis, and they understand, and they're happy with what I'm doing. But Brian and his business is worth its weight in gold. And he has spent a lot of time putting other people first in his personal life, and now we're both on the same journey. But we both ended up with the same sort of problems in the way that we both split up with our girlfriends at the time, and you know, Brian's wife and stuff, and we're both on the same track. Now he's his own man, he's a free man, he's his own man, he lives for his kids, but he lives for a lot more than just his kids. So we're both on exactly the same path, doing exactly the same things, and he keeps me positive, and I keep him positive, and it's more than just a business relationship, it's a true friendship, and you don't get to meet people like that. So honestly, if people was to come to me and say, oh, what is life coaching? You know, does it work? Hell yeah, it works. Of course it works. I was supposed to have counselling. I sodded all of that off. They make you focus on the negative. Brian, you know, when you have a one-to-one life coaching session with him, he asks you about the negative, and then he goes, well, here's what you can do with all the positives you've got around you. And it's so much more efficient, and it works, and it's simple. So, you know, that's pretty much it. If anyone's got any questions. All good?